Hey YouTube, in this video I'm going to be doing my deck profile on my updated Ghostrick deck to include some of the new cards, if not all of the new cards that were released in Legacy of the Valiant. So let's jump right in. For starters, I added the one Ghostrick Mary that I pulled. I may move this to two, but because they have so many different monsters and because the goal of this deck was to run at least one of every single Ghostrick monster. Right now I just have one in here, but I could move this to two. I don't really think you need more than two of these though. Next, I'm running 3 Ghostrick Lantern. This is probably still one of their most important cards. They got a new card, which was a common, which we'll get to later, which is similar to this card. The only difference is this one, you can actually negate the attack if you have a monster. The other one, the new card, you have to have a clear field, kind of like Battle Fader. So 3 Ghostrick Lantern, 1 Ghostrick Mary, then 1 Ghostrick Ghoul. I think at one point I was running 2 of these. I dropped him down to 1. He may go back up to 2 because I have found situations where I need to deal a lot of damage to the opponent. And with Ghostricks, because it's a slow deck, a lot of times you miss out on opportunities to deal damage to your opponent. So this deck has a difficult time going on the offense. So sometimes I wish I had 2 of these, so the likelihood of me having one in the hand or on the field when I'm able to use this effect is kind of limited. So next, 3 Ghostrick Jiangshi. In my opinion, this is one of the most important Ghostrick monsters. I see quite a few people running only 2 of these. I don't understand why. This is basically like their Rhoda, or their, not Rhoda, but like their Stratos. It's a really important card to be able to use its effect multiple times. It's kind of like Yugioh armor. Next, 2 Ghostrick Specter, down from 3 to make room for the new cards. This card's also a pretty decent card. A lot of people think that it's a lot better than it really is. I honestly don't think this card is that great. It does add draw power, yes, which is why I kept it at 2. But as with most Ghostrick cards, it's still kind of slow. And then 1 Ghostrick Jackfrost. This is the new common that's kind of like Ghostrick Lantern that I was talking about earlier. The only thing about him is that you can only use his effect, his negate the battle phase effect, when the opponent declares a direct attack. And actually he doesn't negate the whole battle phase like Battle Fader, so Battle Fader is still better than him, but because he's Ghostrick, you know, the whole archetype thing, he fits in with the deck better. So I'm just trying one of him out. I've seen some people running like 2 of this, which is fine. It just depends on what your monster lineup is and what your extra deck is going to be. If you want to run more ranked 1s, you could run another one of those. And then 1 Ghostrick Skeleton. This is another one of the new cards from Legacy of the Valiant. I'm just trying one of him right now just to see like what he's capable of doing. He has a pretty decent effect. He also, in my opinion, you could actually construct a deck around this card that could focus on winning, as this is like the win condition of the deck. But for now, I'm just trying him at 1. And then 1 Ghostrick Yeti, another new card, another level 3. So more level 3s. Basically the deck is only good at getting exceed rank 1s and 3s, and then you can get a couple of rank 2s in there. And then 1 Ghostrick Mummy. He's another new guy I'm trying out. He's stronger than Yeti. Yeti's the defensive guy, Mummy's the offensive guy. But neither one of them, in my opinion, are really needed for more than 1 copy. And then just the new the new level 2, Ghostrick Nekomusume. She is not as good as I thought. I tried her originally at 2, and then I dropped her to 1 when I was first playtesting these new cards. I don't know. It's a level 2. It helps give you options to get more rank 2 exceeds, but then you could always just run more Ghostrick Yuki-Onna or Ghostrick Witch. So it just depends. And then just the returning cards from Shadow Specters. 1 Ghostrick Stein. I dropped him all the way down to 1 to fit in all the other level 3 guys like Skeleton and Yeti. But I may bring him back up. It's just real hard right now. I'm just trying to figure out, like, out of the common ones, what are the good Ghostricks, or like what are the faster ones? They're all kind of slow, but like which ones have more utility built in, more versatile cards. So then one Ghostrick Witch. I always had one in there, and then one Ghostrick Yuki-Onna. Dropped her down to 1 as well. Originally I was running 2. She's a little bit better than Witch, but she's a little bit slower and more conditional. So overall, those are balanced cards. So these are all level 2, so that I can actually run like Gachi and Daigusto Phoenix. And then the last monster, I just threw in Dark Arm Dragon because everything is dark. And they just need a random boss monster that's not really theme specific because they lack a high level effect monster. So I just threw him in. And he comes out on the field from time to time. For spells, one Ghostrick Museum. This is their new field card. I'm only trying out 1. I may try like 3 of it and none of the other one. But right now I'm running 1 Museum and 2 Mansion. Mansion was the original field card. I like Mansion more. So I'm testing Museum to see what type of situations it's more useful. And if I find it to be a pretty decent card, then I'll go ahead and switch over to just running a build that utilizes just Museum. But right now, overall, I think Mansion's easier to work with, and I think it's the better card as a result of being easier. Museum requires a little more thinking and a little bit more setup, but it works. It's a decent card. And then I read the comments on my first attempt at Ghostrick deck, and a lot of people were mentioning Swords of Concealing Light, so I went ahead and threw one in just to try it out. It actually works pretty well with Museum, surprisingly. So I may keep it. I may take it out for something else. And then one Allure of Darkness, one Dark Hole, Mind Control, Smashing Ground, and 2 MST. I could take Smashing Ground for Book of Moon, but this is just my current spell card lineup. So those are the spells. It's very basic stuff. And then for the traps, I'm trying 1 Ghostrick-Go-Round. 1 is enough. You don't need to rely on it too much. It's a pretty decent card in its own right. The only bad thing is, well, it's not really a bad thing, but it's a continuous, so you know it can die to MST and stuff like that. And then 2 Ghostrick Vanish, down from 3 to make room for that card. And then 1 Ghostrick Scare. So these are the Ghostrick trap cards. And then this is another card that a lot of people were mentioning. And actually, it's a very good card overall for this type of deck because it has a lot of setting. In fact, the only bad thing about it is people were also mentioning Swords of Concealing Light. And Swords of Concealing Light really conflicts with Needle Sealing. They don't really mesh well together. So in my mind, you kind of have to run one or the other. Like you either need to run like 2 Needle Sealing and no Swords of Concealing Light, or if you're going Swords of Concealing Light and you're going to try to win by attacking your opponent directly, you don't really need Needle Sealing. So I'm just trying it out to see. Out of the 2 cards, I've been able to use this card probably like 2 times out of maybe 5 or 6 games where it actually helped me a lot. Swords of Concealing Light was useful at stalling, but it didn't do a whole lot because the deck struggles with going on the offense. So you need a better situation to go on the offense. And then 1 Scrap Iron Scarecrow. I kept this in here. This is extremely good for this deck because it's slow. So you want to slow your opponent down as much as you can to bring them down to your level. And then 1 Call the Haunted, 1 Bottomless Trap Hole, 1 Torrential Tribute, 1 Mirror Force, and 1 Compulsory Evacuation Device. I typically try to run all of these cards in every deck I build. The exception sometimes being Call the Haunted. I don't need it depending on how much a special summon ability the deck has. But in my mind, this format with Bottomless being at 1, Compulsory basically replaced it. And another thing about Compulsory, there's a lot of cards out there that have the cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. And then, like, there's a lot of pesky cards like Stardust Dragon. This card just gets around them real easily. So that's the main deck. For the extra deck, I'm running 2 Ghostrick Alucard. He's their main boss monster that debuted when they first came out in Shadow Specters. Still running 2 of him. He's really good. And then 1 of their new guy, Ghostrick Dullahan. He is okay. He's not nearly as good as I wished he would be. In my opinion, he's a little bit too weak. I wish he was like 1300 or something, or 1400 attack. And then one number 39 Utopia Roots. Ghostricks can't get the regular Utopia, so the nice thing about a Legacy of the Valiant is we got a new Utopia for rank 1, so you can finally use a Utopia type of card. And then I just ran some other grade 1 type of stall type of stuff. Slacker Magician fits in pretty well if you don't have the field card up. And then for rank 2s, Gachi and Daigusto Phoenix, those are made from using like the level 2s. There's only like 3 of them though. So you almost never see these unless the situation is ideal. And then for the rank 3s, I have Tempo, the Percussion Djinn, Mellow Melody, the Brass Djinn, and Muzu Rhythm, the String Djinn. The 3 Djinns from, what was it, the 2012 starter deck. And then we've got Levier, the Sea Dragon, and Wind Up Zenmains. And number 17 Leviathan Dragon, number 30 Acid Golem of Destruction. Just because the deck is most optimal at getting rank 3s, you can tell because Alucard is a rank 3. And the last card I just randomly threw in as a random extra. I had like one slot. I was like, do I want to run another Zenmains or I want to run another rank 1? And I decided to just run Dark Storm. So that's the deck. I'm really curious to know, like, out of the monsters, the most challenging thing of this deck for me was figuring out what the monster lineup would be. Now, since I am experimenting with all of them currently, let me know in the comments, like, what do you think are the cards that are, like, a must-have of 3 copies and a must-have of 2 copies? In my opinion, Ghostrick Lantern is an important card. Jiangshi is another one. Specter is pretty good. So these are the ones that I would assume are the ones that most people run multiple copies of. But let me know what you think of Jackfrost and Yuki-Onna, because I think those are pretty decent cards as well. As well as Ghostrick Skeleton, if you know a build that has a pretty good deck with that. Let me know in the comments below. As always, guys, rate, comment, subscribe. Thanks.